Well, hello everyone. I'm very delighted to be joined with Amelia Cotter. If anybody sees me at the moment looking at my phone, that's because this system I'm using doesn't connect to Facebook very well. So I'm not being rude, I'm not ignoring people, I'm not ignoring Amelia, but I just want to check the comments that are coming through on that. So we're the wonderful Amelia Cotter, author, storyteller and poet, and you've also been on quite a few paranormal programs as well. I think, if I'm right in thinking, that you first got interested in the field of the paranormal through your mum and her list of books. Have I got that correct? And if you can just say a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, I was obsessed with going to the library even before I knew how to read, and checking out books about ghosts and paranormal and occult and things like that. And my mom was an avid reader. We used to read together in bed when I was a kid while my dad was at work. And she was always reading something paranormal, also something fiction or nonfiction. So she would, once a year she would read like The Exorcist and Amityville Horror. And so she kind of instilled that love of reading scary stories in me.
Wonderful. Before we get into the past life regression, another thing I was really curious about is that I believe you went for your first ghost hunt around the age of 8 and saw a full-bodied apparition at that point. Have I got that correct?
Almost. I was 11, but yes.
Oh.
So that was the first and only time that I saw a full body apparition. I've seen and experienced many other types of things, but that was like, that's the holy grail for investigators or for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts. And so that was pretty incredible, and that set a high standard, for the rest of my life for my journey with all of this.
Absolutely. And just before we get into doing this reincarnation experience, past life regression, when I first contacted you, you said you've been interested for a while
Yeah.
in reincarnation.
Yeah, I had specifically been thinking about past lives and past life regressions, based on some books and some shows that I had been reading and watching, and sort of thinking about certain things throughout my life that I have been very interested in or drawn to, or dreams that I've had, and wondering like, oh, I wonder if there's something that I'm not, fully tapping into.
Well, it'd be fascinating to see what you come up with this evening. And I'm delighted that you've agreed to do this with me. So thanks very much for doing
Yeah,
that.
thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So I just want to say hello to Diana, LJ, and Patricia, who's also watching at the moment. I think there's a couple of other silent people watching as well, but it should take about 10 minutes to get you into a nice, deep, relaxed state. So do you have any questions at all for what you're going to experience before starting this?
Well, I did the practice meditation, um, and the first part went really well, and the second part I fell asleep completely.
Right,
So
okay.
I was like, maybe that's probably a good sign. So maybe I am like susceptible to being hypnotized. I've done visualizations before, so as part of meditation. So I feel like I'm pretty good with that already, and I'm just hoping that my own like inner, I mean, I'm sure everybody's hope is that their own inner world and subconscious isn't going to interfere with the process. But is there a way that I would know the difference between like sort of like stock footage images that my brain might come up with versus something that I'm really, really, really tapping into?
I think sometimes people get a sense and a feeling of this is like home. It feels so natural to me when they're really tapping into something. But other people as well, I mean, there is always that sort of thing that you could be picking up on a little bits here and there. But it's the research, and I find that if it seems to be quite consistent through the research, that heads being that it might become more from a past life rather than I've taken a bit from this antiques show that I saw at one point. I'm taking this little bit from when I was at school. So if it seems to be more consistent throughout, because not anybody's just saying, well, I'm going to use that bit in this scenario right now, but the subconscious mind always takes in all the surroundings around us, where the conscious mind only takes in a very portion of what's going on. And there is several different theories, but I always say to anybody who has these past life regressions, just to relax, just to allow yourself to go into it, and just allow the information to come in whatever way it comes to you. Some people are more visual, so during the past life regression they might be getting more senses and seeing things. Other people are more kinesthetic, so they'll be feeling around and getting the senses, like you have mediums that are more called sensitives because they pick up things. Maybe that might be the way the information comes through to you. And there's other people which are more auditory, so they might be hearing things or getting suggestions in their head. But just allow it to happen, because what we're talking about is past life memories here. And also as well, during this I might ask a question that you might not know the answer to. It doesn't matter if you don't know the answer, just happily say I don't know. I might just try a couple of times to get it at various different points, but I'm not trying to trap anybody, trick you or anything like that. I'm just sort of just seeing if the information can go up the deeper we go into hypnosis. But if you're not getting certain things, it's fine just to say I don't know.
All right, groovy.
Okay, brilliant.
Thank you.
Okay, so I've got a few more. Sam, Patricia, Kendall site. I'm really dyslexic, so I hope that I'm getting that okay. But hello to you, and also as well, hello to Lauren. So thank you. So if you just close your eyes now for a second for me, be wonderful. In your own time, you can start taking some nice, slow, deep breaths, making each and every single in and out breath more relaxed than the one before. More relaxed. Noticing how comfortable it is to relax and to breathe easily, calmly, and slowly. And now what I'd like you to do as you relax is to pretend and imagine that your eyes are locked, glued, closed. Just pretend and imagine that your eyes are locked, glued, closed. And in a moment, I'm going to ask you to try and open your eyes. And when I ask you to try and open your eyes, I really do want you to try and open your eyes. But all the time, I want you to keep pretending and imagining that your eyes are locked, glued, closed. Your eyes are locked, glued, closed. So holding on to that relaxation and imagination. Just test me now that your eyes remain closed. Very good. And send that relaxation down to the tips of your toes. And you can just feel yourself now and allow yourself to relax down further. Just like that wonderful state you get into just before you drift off into a wonderful sleep. In a moment, I'm now going to get you to really, when I tell you to open your eyes, and when I ask you to open your eyes this time, I really, when I tell you to, want you to open your eyes. But then I'm going to ask you to shut your eyes, and as you close your eyes, you deepen the relaxation you now feel. So just off you go, just open your eyes and close your eyes now, and deepen that relaxation. Again now, just opening your eyes and closing your eyes and deepening that relaxation. And now just opening your eyes and closing your eyes and deepening that relaxation. Very good. And now as you relax, as you drift and float, you can be aware of your hands resting comfortably. Even the slight sounds in the background, you can be aware of yourself drifting and floating. Deeper relaxed now. Deeper and deeper. So sleepy. So relaxed. As you drift and float. Deeper and deeper. And as you relax deeper and deeper, it becomes easier and easier to release your imagination. I want you to imagine yourself in a beautiful place of your choosing. In this beautiful, relaxing place of your choosing. Can be a real place. And an imaginary place. Or a combination of both. It's up to you. And you can feel so very relaxed in this place now. As you drift and float deeper relaxed. Deeper relaxed now. And now you've relaxed the body. It's now time to relax the mind. And as your mind relaxes, your body relaxes. And as your body relaxes, your mind continues to drift and float deeper and deeper and more deeply relaxed. And if you haven't already, you can easily, calmly and effortlessly, as you relax deeper and deeper, return your breathing back to normal. Drifting down. Everything is slowing down. So sleepy. So relaxed. As you drift and float. Deeper. And deeper. And deeper sleep. So sleepy. So relaxed. Deeper and deeper. That's right. Allowing yourself to drift even deeper now. As I count slowly backwards from 5 to 1. 5, that's right. Drifting, floating. Letting go now. 4, that's right. Deeper and deeper and deeper sleep. Drifting down, down. 3. Noticing how much more relaxed you are now than you were a moment ago. 2, down. down, down. Count to the next number. You will allow yourself to drift to your most deepest, comfortablest state of relaxation. All right now. 1. Now, to help with the deepening process, using your memory and imagination, I want you now to, when I tell you to describe what it looks like, and go there in your mind of your front door of this lifetime, 2021. Look out your own body, out your own eyes, seeing and feeling or sensing what you sense. Will allow yourself to go to your front door in this lifetime, 2021, now. Taking in your surroundings. And slowly, easily, and effortlessly, stay in this nice, deep, relaxed state. Just let me know out loud what it looks like outside your front door, 2021, this lifetime.
I can see the hallway with the doorways to the other apartments.
Fantastic. Very good. And now just allow yourself now to walk down that hallway to the other departments. And as you walk down, you relax deeper and deeper and more deeply relaxed. Very good. Every step you take is relaxing you. And now, again, to help with the deepening process, you need to go to a beautiful imaginary place of your choosing. Somewhere where you love to go to relax. And this place can be a real place, an imaginary place, or a combination of both. It's up to you. But allow yourself to go to that beautiful imaginary place. We'll choose on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful imaginary place of your choosing. And just describe to me out loud what this beautiful imaginary place looks like.
It's an open circle in the woods at dusk.
Beautiful. And just describe what else you're aware of in this space for this open circle.
The sky is clear and I can see the stars and the moon.
Wonderful. And now from this beautiful space of the open circle, just imagine yourself very safely floating up higher and higher and higher and higher now. And higher, so you're looking down on this space quite safely. And describe to me what it looks like from up here as you look down.
Next to the circle is a precipice, like a cliff, and at the bottom there's a river, and it leads off into another beautiful, like, vast woodland.
Wonderful. And now just imagine yourself floating back down, down, and as you float back down, you relax deeper and deeper and more deeply relaxed as you float back down to the ground. And just describe, just let me know when you're back down on the ground.
I'm there.
Very good. On the next count of 3, we go to an imaginary corridor of your choosing, and this imaginary corridor of your choosing will be the way your subconscious mind finds a doorway to a life you lived before this one, to a life back before you were born, way, way back in time. And now on the count of 3, your subconscious mind take you to a corridor of your choosing. 1, 2, 3. A corridor of your choosing with doors leading off to either side. And describe this corridor with doors leading off to either side to me.
It's just very plain, like just white space with rounded doorways that have like darkness beyond them, but not bad darkness. They're just dark.
Okay. And just allow yourself to take in the surroundings. And just let me know if there's a door or doorway you're most drawn to experience that life back in time, back to that life you lived before this one. You know if there's a door.
I can only actually see one door.
It's okay. We'll go through that door. So just see and experience yourself walking down to that door. And as you walk down to that door, you relax deeper and deeper, knowing that you can either see, sense, or hear your past life, or maybe all 3. Just let me know when you're down by that door. It's your
I'm
past
there.
life. Very good. On the next count of 3, door will open to your past life. Be looking out of your own body, out of your own eyes in this past life, sensing your own senses in this past life. And the door opens on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. The door opens to your past life. Let me know what you can see or sense through that door to your past life.
I'm in a kitchen that has a small wooden table on my right and a refrigerator on my left. And then there's a window, and there's a man standing in front of the window in the kitchen.
Okay. And this man who's in this kitchen with you, what's his connection to you?
I think he's my husband or my brother.
Okay.
But I think he's my husband.
Okay. Well, that will come clearer later on. So describe this man who you think is your husband. Describe him to me, please.
He's not very tall. He's wearing brown pants and a white shirt with like suspenders. He has short hair with like rounded spectacles.
Very good. And to help yourself in this time with the man you see in front of you, I want you to be just aware now of how you're dressed, by just maybe when you glance down to see how your legs look and cross at your arms. Describe to me how you're dressed.
I'm wearing like a knee-length dress that's either brown or green, with like a white belt or like embellishment of some kind, or buttons.
Very good. And now, on the next count of 3, from your subconscious mind, your name of what you're called in this lifetime comes from your subconscious to your conscious. Allow it to happen on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. You called in this lifetime.
Miriam or Mariana.
Miriam or Mariana. Very good. And now we'll see if we can get surname, your family name with that. Or the name that you have if it's your husband, but what you're called now, your surname. 1, 2, 3. You get in, or
Geller.
Geller. Wonderful. And now, let's count to 3 from your subconscious mind. The man in front of you will be able to let me know if he is your husband or brother, but the connection will become stronger, what his connection is to you. 1, 2, 3. So this man's connection to you.
Husband.
Wonderful. And now, on the count of 3, your husband's name comes into your mind. 1, 2, 3. What's your husband's name?
Ariel.
Ariel. Very good. And now, where in the world you are right now, where in the world are you, comes from your subconscious to your conscious.
Europe. Berlin.
Berlin. Very good. And now, the year comes into your mind of what year it is from your subconscious. Allow that to happen. Now, what year is it?
1920.
1920. Very good. And now, you're in this kitchen, this place where you live. I want you, around this time of year, 1920, for you now to just go outside to see what it looks like from the outside so you can describe. Allow it to happen on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Time within this year when you're looking at the building from an outside.
Fall.
Okay. Tell me about that.
It's wet, and there's leaves everywhere on the ground, and it's chilly.
Wonderful. And now, in your subconscious mind, in this year, how old you are comes into your mind. 1, 2, 3. How old are you now?
27.
27. Brilliant. And now, to explore this lifetime more, you'll be able to tell me what your husband does for work, how he spends his days. Allow that to come from your subconscious into your conscious mind. Now, what does your husband do for work? Where does he spend his days?
He's a pharmacist.
Very good. And are you aware if this pharmacy has a name? And if it does, your subconscious mind will let me know what the pharmacy is called. Allow that to happen now. Does this pharmacy have a name? Where he works?
I just see apotheca.
Very good.
Like,
you said you see it. Just describe to me how that's appearing to you.
it's a lot of the counter behind it, many shelves with different bottles on them, like large glass jars.
Very good. Wonderful. And just now, if you ever been to the outside of this building where the pharmacy is, just let me know how the area looks just outside the building. Allow that to happen. Allow your from the past to go there on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Outside, look in.
There's a sidewalk with cars, and the building facade is like white and pink. There's some wood paneling in the doorway.
That's really good. And now, see from your subconscious mind if an area of Berlin, like a street name where this pharmacy is, comes into your subconscious mind, but to your conscious mind in this past life. 1, 2, 3. Street name or area where this pharmacy is.
It starts with a G, like Gartenstrasse.
Excellent. And now the house, sorry, the place where you live, the apartment where you live. From your subconscious mind, see if you get an area name of where this is as well, or street name. Allow it to happen on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Place where you live.
I get the name Alexander.
Alexander. Good. At this moment in time, with your husband, do you feel you have any children?
No.
Okay. Staying with this lifetime, I want you now to go to the time when you first met your husband in this lifetime, staying with this lifetime. Allow that to happen now, the time when you first met your husband. Tell me about that meeting, how that happened.
I'm actually watching him walk away, like down the street, and there's people on the street. Um, like maybe I have watched him walk by before, and we meet that way.
It's very nice. And now, staying with this lifetime, we'll go to the time when you and your husband got married, so you can relive that memory. Staying with this lifetime. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And tell me about that.
I see like a picture, a photo of us, like a wedding photo.
That's nice.
Yeah, with flowers or petals of something falling um, over us.
Lovely. And as it's a photo of both of you, Describe to me now how you look in the photo on your wedding day.
I'm shorter than I am now, but also with like shoulder length auburn hair, and I'm skinnier than I am now, and I'm very pretty.
That's nice. And we'll explore more of this lifetime and staying with this lifetime. On the next count of 3, go back within this lifetime, back to an early childhood memory. So you can tell me about your childhood. Allow that to happen on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. An early childhood memory within this lifetime, and tell me about that.
I'm in a garden full of flowers, like a rotunda type of area with walls of like vines and roses and things like that. And I can smell the flowers and I feel pretty good. I'm super little. I have like a little kid like nightgown dress on.
Sounds lovely. And now, just be aware now, this child, where you feel in the world you're living at this moment as a child. Allow that to come to you now. Where do you feel you live at this moment as a child?
I can't tell if I'm still in Berlin or if I'm in England.
Okay. Your subconscious mind will know where you were, whether you're in Berlin or England. On the count of 3, that becomes clearer to you at this moment in time. If you're in Berlin or England now. 1, 2, 3. You're in Berlin or England.
I seem to be in England.
Okay. Very nice. On the next count of 3, go to tell me where in England you are. 1, 2, 3. Where in England are you?
North Hampshire?
That's
Is that
nice.
a place?
That's, yes, yeah. Very nice. And just to now go to where you're looking at this childhood memory, where you sleep, where you rest your head at night. Allow it to happen on the next count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Where you rest your head at night. Describe that to me.
I'm in a dark bedroom with a lot of like mahogany wood notes. And it's not like, I don't think I live here. I think my family's just visiting. Like I'm in
Okay.
a hotel or someone else's house.
Okay. Now we just go to a day when I tell you to. When you're in this place, so you'll be able to tell me if you're in a hotel or staying in someone else's house. Allow that to happen now within that lifetime. And tell me about that.
I see I guess it's a hotel. It's like a large, not a large, like it's in a street surrounded by other buildings, but it's a large brown building with like crisscross architecture on the front that looks like a boarding house for people to but a fancier that people can stay at.
Okay. Now let's just see on the count of 3 the name of this place comes into mind. 1, 2, 3. The name of this place.
I don't know.
That's okay. May well come out later. From your subconscious mind to your conscious mind at this age now, what are you doing here at the moment? Are you on holiday or there for some reason?
I don't think I know. I think I'm too young to know.
It's okay. Now, staying with this lifetime at this age, just move to a time within this lifetime when you're in your own home at this young age, or wherever you live, so you can describe how your actual home looks. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Allow that to happen now. Describe that to me.
Now I feel like I'm back in that kitchen.
Okay.
Maybe that's where I grew up.
Okay. Now just be aware now in the space in that kitchen for you to be able to glance down so you can see how you look, and you'll be able to tell me at this point how old you feel you are now.
I think I bounced back to my adult self.
That's okay. No worries. Well, just now, I want you to be aware from this adult self thinking back to your childhood. And just let me know if you get names for either parents or guardians from when you were a child. Allow that to happen on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Be aware of parents' names.
Something Joseph or Gerhard and Anna.
It's lovely. And now, I want you to go to that time, staying with this lifetime, when you went from Berlin to England, and you'll be able to tell me whether you were in England as part of travelling or whether you lived in England when you were a child. But just allow that trip and you'll be able to tell me how you went from one place to another. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Staying with this lifetime, that travel, be able to let me know.
We have family there.
Okay. That's nice.
Someone in the family is English.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Just going to see if you can get from your subconscious mind, from this past life, who that family member was. Just relax and see if it comes to you on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And tell me about that person.
Total blank.
That's okay. Now, staying with this lifetime, we'll move to your happiest memory within this lifetime. Allow it to happen. Count 3. 1, 2, 3. Your happiest memory. Tell me about that.
think the happiest memories are just living in the city, like strolling along a promenade and spending time with my husband. We're on like a little rowboat, and I see just flashes of joy in those moments.
That's lovely. You see the flashes of joy. And are you on this rowboat at the moment, or are you somewhere else in reviewing these memories?
I'm in the rowboat right now.
Okay. Describe the area where you're rowing.
It's like a lake, surrounded by people having a picnic. And there's a bridge, and people are walking on it. There's a lot of activity, and there's other boats.
Wonderful. And just let me know on the next count of 3 what the name of this lake is where you are now. 1, 2, 3. What's the name of this lake?
The name Walensee comes to my mind.
Very nice. Now, staying with this lifetime, we'll move further forward in time. Further forward to being at the age of 30 in this lifetime, and that happens now, at the age of 30. And tell me about that and what's happening at the age of 30.
I think that I am pregnant, or was.
Okay. And tell me a little more about that when you say you were pregnant, or are you pregnant at this time?
I don't think it's going to work out.
I'm sorry to hear that. And just allowing what emotions come, what you're happy to experience in this time from this lifetime. Just let me know why you feel it's not going to work out.
I don't think I'm happy.
That's okay. We'll go back to your happy memory on the count of 3 to that time on the rowboat. 1, 2, 3. Back to that time on the rowboat. Back to that time on that lake. Just describe to me what you're experiencing now.
Well, definitely joy. It's warm. And sunny.
On the next count of 3, we'll also go back to that beautiful garden that you were in as a child, where you enjoyed being. On the count of 3, allow yourself to go back to that time now. 1, 2, 3. Back to that time in the garden. And tell me about that lovely time.
It's like a clear but kind of cloudy day, and it's spring, and there's birds and there's bugs, and it's it's a lot of sensory experiences for me.
That's good. And allow yourself now to fully enjoy those sensory experiences. Just enjoy being there right now and breathing in that fresh air. Now, in a moment, just let me know from your subconscious mind. I'm going to stay in with this lifetime, take you further forward to being at the age of 40. And just let me know if you're happy for me to take you forward to that time.
Yeah.
Good. On the next count of 3, staying with this lifetime, we'll move further forward to being at the age of 40. Allow it to happen 1, 2, 3 at the age of 40, staying with this lifetime. And tell me about that. You're aware of now.
Not much, just I think I connected with like a sense of discontent and sadness that I have a comfortable life, but not an unfulfilled one.
Okay. Are you okay to be here at this moment, at the time, in the age of 40 at the moment?
I'm not sure I'm still alive or I'm not going to live much longer.
Okay. Would you be being aware of that this can be just like watching a movie that can be disassociated should you wish? Would you be happy for me to take you to your last moments in this life from your subconscious mind? Yes or no, if you're happy for me to do that.
It's fine.
Okay. On the next count of 3, it'll be your very last day on this lifetime. Again, only experiencing what emotions you feel happy and comfortable to experience. Allow yourself to go to your last day within this lifetime. 1, 2, 3. Your last day. How old are you? And where are you?
I think I'm 43.
Okay. And what are you aware of now?
Everything is like gray. I'm lying down. I'm lying back on my back.
Okay. And are you aware of why you're laid on your back at this moment?
I'm sick. I'm
Do you know what?
convalescing.
Okay. Do you know what the matter with you is?
No.
On the next count of 3, it'll be your very last 1 minute in this lifetime. Being aware that you only take on what emotions you're happy to experience in this time. Just moving further forward to your last minute. 1, 2, 3. Staying with this your lifetime, your last minute, and tell me about that.
Someone's holding my hand.
Okay. And who is holding your hand? You aware of who's holding your hand?
It could be my husband or it could be a woman who is somebody I don't know.
Okay.
I can
Are
see
you
both.
okay? Now, on the next count of 3, again, just being aware that you take on what emotions you're happy to take on. It'll be your last 5 seconds. And as I count backwards from 5 to 0, 0 will be your moment of passing. Be able to tell me if you see anything in these last 5 seconds. Your last 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3 now. 5, 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and 0. just passed over now. Describe to me what you're aware of now you've just passed over.
I'm just seeing different images, and I'm in darkness, but not bad darkness, just quiet, like a void.
Okay. So being aware of like this void. Just allow yourself now to move forward a little bit in time, if there is such a thing as time, in this space, in this void, in this life between lives area, to let me know what you're aware of now.
Why? I'm floating like in water, in dark water, but it's not scary.
Okay. If I can get you to review this life that you've had, do you feel there's a lesson or some understanding for your subconscious mind? And what message would your subconscious mind give you now for a lesson understanding through this lifetime?
I just feel strong emotions of like comfort and unfulfilled dreams that are like at odds with each other, and then a bad ending.
I'm sorry to hear that. Now, in a moment, I'm going to bring you out of this nice release, nice deep relaxed state, but would you wish to receive some healing in hypnosis before coming out of this state? Would you like to receive any healing?
Sure.
Okay. What I'd like you to do now is, on the next count of 3, to be aware of a beautiful space, either inside or outside, which would be your very own healing space. I'd just like you to go to that wonderful healing space on the next count of 3. 1, 2, 3. A healing space of your choosing. And just let me know what your healing space looks like.
I'm in a huge field full of yellow, soft grass and like reeds with mountains around me. And I'm lying down in the field.
Wonderful. I'm jealous, it sounds wonderful. Just allow yourself now to just lie down here. And now I'd like you to be aware of either someone you know, or maybe it can be a historical figure, but just have the presence now of someone around you you like, know and trust from any time in history, from your subconscious mind, to come up with a person that will heal you most in this time. And I just allow that to be personal between you and this person that you see. I'd like you to be aware now of a healing light surrounding your head, and that healing light soothes any thought trauma that you had in this past life experience. And as you breathe in nicely and calmly, you can breathe in that colour. And you can imagine now, or experience from your subconscious mind, that healing light travelling down to whatever part of your body needs healing. Allowing it to happen now. and enjoying being in that surrounding with the beautiful scenery around you. And as you breathe in this wonderful healing color, and it surrounds you, and as you exhale anything from this past life experience you wish to remove away from yourself. Very good. And now, I'd like you to be aware that you can have next to you a bowl of liquid. And this is a healing balm, and this healing balm you can put on any part of your body. Anywhere at all that you can just relax and feel its soothing healing. Anything that has been frozen in your heart, you now feel the warmth of where you are now, melting any ice you may have put around your heart area from this lifetime. And you can be aware now of the growing sense of satisfaction, everything that you've achieved in your lifetime now. Very good. And long after this deep relaxed session has finished, the healing work will continue doing its good. And even after this session's finished, I will still check in with you just to make sure everything's okay, and I can give you extra time in healing if you feel you need to have it. And allow the healing you've already experienced to go deeper and deeper into you. As you feel that healing good, being aware of all that you've achieved so far, just going deeper into you as you drift down to floor A. That's right, drifting down. And feel that good drifting even deeper now as we drift down into relaxation, into a metaphorical floor C. Just drift down, 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 relaxing. And even deeper now, all those good feelings, that healing light drifting down, down as you drift deeper into floor C. Now just leave you for a few moments to enjoy that healing space as I am quiet. In a moment, I'm going to take you into that corridor we started this experience from. I'd like you to know that you can continue the good from this healing space even when you're long after finished this session. When you're back in that corridor, the doors to your past life, this past life will be closed, but you can re-experience, should you wish to at any point, just by going in and opening the door. All right, now, just go back into that corridor you started from. 1, 2, 3. Back in that corridor you started from. And just let me know that you're there in that corridor where you started from.
I'm there.
Very good. In a moment, I'm going to awaken you from this relaxed state. I'm going to count up from 1 to 3, and on 3, and only 3, Your eyes will be open. You'll be refreshed, alert, reinforcing every single positive thought, every single success you've ever had about yourself, remembering what you wish to remember from that past life regression experience with crystal clear clarity. Or right now, 1, becoming aware of your hands resting comfortably. 2, small movements in your body signaling it's soon time to awaken. On 3, eyes open, alert, refreshed, and ready for the rest of the afternoon.
With raccoon eyes. Oh, Lord.
Sorry I did that to you.
Well, I've read that a lot of people cry. So, and I had seen some of your other ones where people like really let it out. Oh, good. I look
Yeah.
like the Joker. Wonderful.
Yes. Yes. I do apologise for that.
No, that's fine. That was really interesting.
Does any of that make sense? Do you have any connections with Berlin or interests or anything?
It does. It's pieces of it started to flesh out more. The more abstract my and less specific my answers were, the more that there was like this sort of like crackling sensation of a lot of information coming at me, but it was like not something that I could describe as we were going, but it was like this greater, like a more abstract understanding of what this could have been, like what this life could have been.
Yeah,
Um,
I understand.
so um, like I didn't feel that, so I feel that I had either a depression or a mental illness that I dealt with throughout this lifetime that prevented me from living fully.
Yeah.
And that uh, this idea that I was pregnant or had been pregnant, and I was upset. I wasn't necessarily upset about the loss of the pregnancy. I think I was upset about all of it in the first place, like the pressure and the scariness of it, and I was like, I became overwhelmed just thinking about it. And then everything was very clear up to that point, and then it started to kind of taper off.
Yeah. You were getting a lot of hearts coming through, particularly on the Facebook at the moment that were being sent through to you. So,
Okay.
now
Thanks, everybody.
I will check in with you as I did promised after this live has finished, rather than just go right. That's it. You're off to do what you want to do now, because I always like to make sure that everything's absolutely fine after a live. I'm just going to quickly check to see if there's anybody who wants to ask. You're right, just to take 1 or 2 questions, Amelia?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. Still hearts coming through at the moment for you. So let me just well, I am interested because I spoke to you about this a little while about doing this, but you were quite busy. Was that finishing off your book or getting ready for the launch of your latest book, Where the Party Never Ended? And
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by that, so I would love to know a little bit more, because I was reading some research about it, and it says it's got 40 odd photographs in there of this pub. So can you say a bit about it, please? Because it seems quite an active building.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, so the book is called Where the Party Never Ended, which is so it's called Where the Party Never Ended: Ghosts of the Old Baraboo Inn, and it's kind of an inside joke about the liveliness of the place. It's supposed to be very haunted. It's in Baraboo, Wisconsin. It's supposed to be haunted by upwards of 30 spirits, predominantly positive, fun-loving, playful spirits who are very interactive with the visitors, and the people who own the bar as well. So today it's like a bar and event space. Traditionally, it's been a lot of different things. It's been a brewery and a hotel and different restaurants and things like that. And it was established sometime in the mid 1800s. So the cornerstone on the building says 1864. And so in this, relatively tight period of time, it's gone through all of these interesting eras in American history, like the Prohibition era, when it was supposed to be like a brothel and a speakeasy. And it's just a really fascinating place, but it's a warm and friendly place. So it's not there are things that were supposed to have happened there that were dark and sad, but it really is like where the party never ended. You feel like you're walking into uh, a place where the spirits are very active. Um, and there's tons of cool photos. There's tons of videos and stuff too, and EVP that you can access on the internet in different places if you just Google it, or they have their own. I think they have their own YouTube channel too. It's a really fascinating little place, and so I had a blast writing about it. And I am also one of the first people, as a historian, to have written about the actual, like, a comprehensive history of the location, which was really exciting for me to be able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing which I know and is quite interesting is that your first book, which was a children's book, wasn't your first published book, Breakfast with Bigfoot, which if I saw it as a child, I would want to pick that up. But
Yeah.
surprisingly, it's loosely based off a true story. So if you can say about how that book came into being, please.
Yeah, so that book started, kind of as a joke between me and a friend. I never thought I was going to get into the paranormal world in the way that I have. I wanted to become a writer and write for children or young adults, but have spooky or scary story themes or write ghost stories. And I wrote this story based on the alleged abduction of Albert Ostman in 1924, who had this wild story that he was abducted by a family of big feet that took him home to their nest and treated him kindly and kept him alive and set him free. Or he may have run away, but he didn't. I don't know if he felt like he was in danger, or if he felt that it was just time for him to move along. But he felt like he was kind of safe in their hands. And I thought this has been the subject of many different, like, podcasts and articles over the years. And so I kind of changed the story a little bit, and made it kid friendly for ages 3 to 6, and then turned it into a book about, like, it's also about, like, good hiking principles for young people and stuff like that. So it has some some purpose other than the fun of me writing a book about Bigfoot for kids.
Yeah. And something that I know you're also quite open about, you write poetry, which is can be about anxiety as well. And
Yeah.
I've got so many people, and people that I know on my Facebook as well that have anxiety. So, is there any particular poems that you say, this is ones that you're proud of that you think would really help people? Because I think it's really helpful to
Oh,
read
man.
poetry about it.
Sure. So, well, anybody who wants to reach out to me to talk about that. So I do, I specialize in anxiety, isolation, um, alienation, things like that. Those feelings I do have anxiety, like chronic anxiety with OCD. So if there's anybody out there who wants to ever talk about that, but if so I do have a forthcoming book of poetry about this topic. And in the meantime, if you visit my website, I have a poetry section, and I also have an other writing section where I published some, like, short fiction and other stuff that is still, some of it is still loosely um, horror or ghostly related, but it really delves deep into those topics, and people can go and read uh, my poems and stuff there as well, if it will help them.
Brilliant. And I know people can hire you as well for talks and events. Be a little bit
Yes.
difficult to come to England, but I
Where
have
I
American watchers.
Well, the cool thing about not the cool thing, but I guess, something that's come out of the pandemic is that we're all doing events online. So I'm happy to. I've done Zoom events and other things. People in the UK used to be able to see me on TV, on Really TV, on the R.I.P. files, but I don't know if that's still airing or not. But in any case, I am available for appearances in which I do not cry. So, yeah, people can book me. I'm easy to get a hold of. My email and all my information is out there.
Yeah, you're welcome to give the, on there as well. I'll put it in the description of this once the YouTube's all
Thank you.
finished, so everything can go out. But if you want to give a shout out for your email now, if you're happy to do that, that is.
Yeah, for sure, sure. So it's really easy. So my website is ameliacotter.com, and my email address is Amelia M, as in man, Cotter at gmail.com. Don't email Amelia Cotter at gmail.com, because I have a feeling she exists out there somewhere, and I'm sure she gets a lot of my weird mail.
Fantastic. I realise you're very busy. I'm just going to ask a couple more questions, and I'll let you enjoy the rest
Yeah,
of your
sure.
afternoon there.
Yeah,
Um,
I can stick around for a little bit. So
okay, but do say, because the last thing I want to do, I've got to get on, So please say if you've got to. But I was curious to
yeah,
know how the R.I.P. files come back, because that's where I first saw your appearance. But I also know you from the
awesome.
Higgy Pop Awards as well. You mentioned on that
Yeah,
winning an award, which was fantastic. So you can
thank
say
you.
about both of them, but how you got involved with the R.I.P. files originally, please.
I got to know I used to, so many years ago, I had like a talent agent, um, that was also working with Pat Marin, who is the producer of the R.I.P. files, and she and I collaborated on just some other things related to books and articles and stuff. And then sh I got to know her, and she was interested in. She was talking to me about location scouting for this show, and it was on the East Coast. And even though I live in Chicago, I'm from Maryland, so she was interested in me helping out with that. And as I got to know her more, she said, I have an opening for a cast member. Like, send me a headshot and a video and stuff like that. So I ended up being able to participate in seasons 2 and 3 of that show, which was awesome. It was a really cool experience.
Fantastic. Yeah, so it does get shown on really sometimes. I don't know if it's at the moment, but it gets
Okay,
shown
it
every now
comes
and then.
back around, right? I think every
It does,
Halloween
yeah.
it's on the lineup. Okay, good. I'm glad to know that, because I thought that really changed. Maybe they changed to a different network, or now they're owned by somebody else, and so I wasn't sure anymore. Um, but
Yeah,
good, good, good.
yeah. No, it
I
still
wish
gets
I
repeated.
I wish I could say there were more seasons coming, but there aren't. But you can also see me on some other things like Hometown Horror. I've been on that, um, and a couple of documentaries too. And all
Yeah,
that info is on my website.
brilliant. And I know that you're also part of a documentary called Scary Stories. How much
Yeah,
did those original Scary Stories influence you as a writer?
a lot, a ton, tremendously. So I just, I was fascinated and repulsed and everything by those stories and the illustrations when I was a kid. I still have the same books that I did when I was a kid. I've always kept them. I just, they really shaped me. I know for people who know, they're like, yeah, me too. And then other people who just aren't into that stuff, they're like, that's really warped. But like, that's very strange. But I'm like, but it was such uh, there was something magical about my childhood. I had a childhood where I was exposed to a lot of the darker aspects of humanity. So I wasn't really naive or innocent to a lot of things. And so reading the stories uh, didn't it 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 was titillating in that sense that you're a kid and everything is mysterious and weird and the world's this big scary place, but the human behavior aspects didn't you know eh, shock my fragile mind the way that a lot of parents would have claimed they would have. It's one of the most banned books in the US history. So but my parents let me read it. So
I expect because your parents let you read it, quite a lot of children in your class were probably quite jealous that your parents allowed you to read it.
yeah, I don't I remember it was such a personal thing, going into like getting a little bit older, going into middle school. I started talking about ghosts during like my presentations, like whatever little book reports and things like that. And then other people would come forward and be like, oh, I think I like ghosts. I think ghosts are cool too. And then we would have our own little, kind of, there were like pockets of people who were who were willing to admit that they thought that stuff was cool. I think now it's so much more mainstream, and a lot of the events that I go to, there's a lot of kids there, kids as young as 8, 9, 10, that, I would have loved to have gone to like a ghost conference when I was a kid or something, but it was very clandestine at the time.
And final question before I'll let you go and relax and enjoy the rest of your day. I know so many people that have a book inside them to write now. You've been very successful at writing your books, but so many people just have these ideas, they start to write and it doesn't really get very far. What advice could you give someone who has got that talent, that seed inside them, but they don't really push forward to do it, and what allows you to finish off the books where so many people just has as a dream idea?
There's a great mantra that I say to myself. Well, there's a couple of them. One is, there's a question. It's, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And it's like, what would you do if something didn't scare you, if you weren't nervous, or if you didn't have anxiety, or if you didn't think you would fail? It's just very general, could mean anything to anyone, right? What would you do if you weren't afraid? And then, of course, there's that famous quote by Joseph Campbell that I know everybody throws around, but it's like, the cave you fear to enter holds what you seek, something like
Yeah,
that.
the treasure
Holds,
what you seek. Yeah.
yeah, it holds the treasure that you seek. Yes. And as much as a platitude as it can sound like when you're giving people like inspirational advice, if you really internalize some of those things, it's like, what is asking yourself what's stopping you from completing a project, in a sort of a spiritual or an abstract sense, and then gathering the tools that you have, and the resources to actually make it happen. Like, maybe it's time, maybe it's discipline, maybe it's that you need help. So you need help from somebody else to flesh out ideas or get you to that next step. You need to join a group, and a Facebook group, and see how other people do it. Breaking it down into smaller pieces and giving yourself some type of structure, and small goals to help yourself attain. And if you have a book in you and you're just like, it's never going to happen, then maybe you have a short story in you, or maybe you have a poem in you. And to make it happen, like, don't let your life go by without at least trying.
That's wonderful advice. Is there anything else you wish to say before we go?
I still have thoughts about the regression experience. I can say one thing that happened. There were two things that happened. One was that my chair started shaking about halfway through.
Okay.
And the other one is that, so I'm wearing these noise cancel. These are my husband's like crazy audio engineering, like noise canceling headphones. So mostly I can only hear what's coming through, like any white noise that was coming from your microphone to mine. But there were certain quiet moments where I could hear like noises in the apartment, like not like scratching and scuttling noises, but not in a terrifying way, but just kind of like,
Good.
there was a lot of energy and activity, and it got very, very cold around me. And I also had the sensation, which I'm sure has to do with like the state of hypnosis, that my hands had sunk down below my computer, and that they were like reversed. Like, I lost the sensation in my hands, which I know is like a physiological response, but that was really interesting. And I guess my homework that I want to take away from this is to explore more about that end part. Everything felt very fleshed out about this life journey that you took me through, except for that very end part where it sort of split off into these weird, just abstract images of grayness and sickness and sadness. But I'm like trying to do the math. I'm like, if I was 27 in 1920, I would have been, and when I was 43, it would have been 1936. Am I crazy? I feel like I've lost a brain cell or two during this experience, but just trying to think of like the time frame that this happened in,
Yeah.
and seeing if I can make any historical sense out of it,
Yeah.
or if it was just, or if it was an illness, or if it was something different, because there were certain images that flashed through my mind that maybe I'm not ready, that I can't really talk about, but that I'm going to give a lot of reflection to.
Absolutely, and I'm always aware, because sometimes if somebody's coming to me for therapy and they need to release something, we delve into that a bit more. But I'm always very much aware that I never say entertainment, but it's for interest doing a past life regression. I always think there's a line that you don't cross over when you're doing these sorts of things, when the public are seeing, that I do with people individually.
Yeah.
So if you want to explore that at any stage, please private message me, and that can be something that we can set up.
Got it. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it again, I think, and then take some notes from it and see if I can chase down any of these names and stuff, and see if I can glean something from it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, Amelia. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. There's a couple of names. I know I've missed some names coming up. I want to say Sam Harley. She's really wonderful and supportive to me. So thank you for watching. Deborah, Carol, Lauren, Sky Lamp, Janet. Thank you for being here tonight. So thank you, and thank you, Amelia. You want just to stay on 5 minutes after
Yeah.
I finish the stream? It will be 5 minutes. Just to make sure that's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Brilliant.
having me. This was really, really cool. Thank you
Oh,
so
that's
much.
brilliant. All
And
right.
thank you all for being a part of it that watched.
Thank you, Amelia. Bye, everyone.